I guess now is good of a time to explain my argument for the resurrection. Why I say that if the Quran is wrong about it, Islam is false. But even if the Quran is right about it, Islam is still false. I don't think I really need to explain the issue if the resurrection happened. It validates the Christian claim, which contradicts Islam. But if the Quran got it right and Jesus didn't resurrect, we see another problem. Makes Allah the author of Christianity through active deception. I got a chance to talk to Libyano about this. He gave an example of Acts 14 to suggest that humans can make mistakes and attribute divinity. And I even flipped it against Libyano. Paul and Barnabas actively created the events that could be seen as divine. But what did they do? They instantly corrected the people around them. What did Allah do? He waited 600 years. He actively created the conditions that resulted in the early Christians believing Jesus was executed, buried, and that they saw him again. This is the very bedrock of Christianity, and Allah was the one who made the disciples believe that this happened. And outside of the Quran, we see nothing that indicates that they could have concluded anything else. Allah could have nipped this in the bud. After all, He is the truth and the clear guide. He is omniscient and omnipotent. He could have done anything else to save Jesus and prevent the largest religion of shirk from the beginning. Unlike Paul or Barnabas, Allah should be capable. Either He is able to do it and didn't for some reason, which would call into question attributes such as Him being the truth and others. Or He was not able to prevent this, and we can call into question His omnipotence. Either way, the God of Islam would be a fraud. Anyways, here's the clip where I talk to Libyano on this topic, and he falls right into the same problem most Muslims would fall. He's stuck with explaining how the 600-year gap does not make Allah culpable for creating Christianity, the largest religion of shirk.
You're really living up to your name, man. Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Where's Apologist?
Yeah, there's a reason I chose the name.
Where's Apologist? The question was simple. Do you agree with the principle that if God intervenes in the world and people see His intervention and misinterpret it, that God didn't author their misinterpretation?
I've already answered this. I already said that would be the case, but I did.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if you're listening, but you're wanting.
Thank you.
I'm also trying to explain it further. That's why I'm trying to explain it too. Yeah,
because
that's why I asked you the question.
All right.
What did Paul and Barnabas do?
All right.
What did they do? When that happened, what did they do?
They did a miracle.
Okay, after that, when they were being labeled as these gods, what happened?
They said, "Don't worship us. We're only men like you."
There we go. Now,
and what did God
do we have any example of that?
And what did God do in the 7th century?
The 7th century? Or you mean 600 years after the crucifixion event happened?
Yes. What did He do?
Okay. Well, you realize in the 600-year gap is a problem, right?
What did He do?
Oh, if you don't mind opinion, He did nothing.
In the 7th century, He didn't do anything according to us.
No. Muhammad decided to say something.
And in my opinion, Paul didn't really do a miracle. But I answered based on the text.
That doesn't matter.
Right. So now answer the question without being dishonest. According to us, because you're given an internal critique against our worldview. Now, according to us, what did God do? He corrected, just as Paul and Barnabas corrected. Wow.
Yeah, 600 years too late. 600 years too late.
It's not 600 years too late. And even if it were 600,
7th century versus 1st century.
Can you let me finish, brother? Thank you. And it's not 600 years too late, because the time that it takes for God to correct misinterpretation does not necessitate that God caused the misinterpretation. We're talking about two different things here.
Pretty big correlation.
So whether God corrected the idolatry right away or He waited a little while does not mean that he caused it. That doesn't follow. Okay, that's point number one. Point number two, Jesus corrected it before it even took place. Because
Did he?
Jesus, in our view, was a messenger just like all the other messengers, refused worship, said not to worship anybody except for God alone. And so because Jesus already corrected these things, God didn't need to come out and say, hey guys, don't worship a dead man who died on a cross. They should have already known that. But their misinterpretation is not God's authorship. It has nothing to do with that.